Hi, I'm Josh Ellsworth, General Manager with Stahl's CAD-CUT Direct. If you have a heat press and a vinyl cutter, you have a lot of versatility at your fingertips. Today we're going to customize a polyester-based jacket and also a hooded sweatshirt that would be the perfect fit for high school students as they're going to the football games this fall and winter. Nice and warm. So what we'll do is we'll combine two special effect materials. In this case we're going to utilize the 3M reflective material, which is really popular, and also carbon fiber, which is a trending effect that I think you'll really like when we do a tone-on-tone finish here on the jacket. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and set up in the Roland GX24 first with our reflective material. Trim off this cut, then I'll unload this roll, and I'm going to load the carbon fiber material for my other cuts. And we'll trim this one off and we'll weed both of the materials. Now I'm using the Hotronix Fusion swing away / draw heat press, which is really convenient for pressing hoodies, jackets, jerseys, all types of items, because I can split the garment and thread it on. Make sure all my seams are hanging off so I get a good pressure. And thicker cotton fabrics tend to hold a lot of moisture, so I'm going to preheat it a little longer than I usually would. Just to get that moisture out of there, it's going to give me a better adhesion to the garment. And the first thing down is going to be my 3M reflective. I've designed this in a way so I'm going to even do a little drop here underneath the line on the hoodie. I cut those two apart. I'll use a cover sheet just in case. And I'm just going to tack this down for a few seconds to get it into place so I can line up my carbon fiber. So I gave it about 3 seconds. The backing just releases off really nicely. And now I can line up my carbon fiber. This is going to give me a really nice effect. Now I'll cover the whole thing, especially since the reflective is exposed directly to the heat of the press, and I'll press them both together for the full 15 seconds. Remove my cover sheet and release my backing, and I have a completed hoodie. That part's done. So let me throw that to the side. We'll show you a close-up momentarily, and let's load the jacket on. I'll unbutton the jacket. The first thing I'm going to do is a back print on it, and I'm going to have to load it sideways across the press since my design is a little wider than the width here of the press. It needs to lay out this way. So I'm going to stand on this side of the press, lay out my jacket, make sure I have my cover sheet for all my preheats and everything. Once again, I'm dealing with a synthetic fabric in this case, so I definitely want to preheat it. Going to adjust the pressure up a little bit. You can see the steam rolling out of the fabric while it's preheating. So I preheat that, get the moisture out of it. And for this particular one, I'm just doing straight on the jacket, this tribal design. Hold this up to make sure I'm on center here. Feel for the tag. Need to come a little bit to the left. Make sure that my design is receiving pressure on all parts of the heat press. The edge of the heat press is here, so I'm going to slide it up a little bit once I have it in position. Another tip is you can lay out your jacket. Since this material's sticky, you can actually position it down while you can see the whole jacket. And then I have a little placement of 3M with the Warriors that I wanted to drop right here. And cover everything up. And since nothing's overlapping, I can just do one full press for the 10 to 15 seconds. And we have a completed jacket. Something that I'll do a front placement here in a second, but something people like to do just for a nicer presentation. You can kind of see the heat press line here where this was heated. So a lot of people would take that and just cover it with a cover sheet and just give it another press for presentation, just a few seconds, to try to get that line out of there. That way it looks like the same surface when you deliver it to the customer. Now let's do the front, and then we'll show you a full view of everything. We're going to do a left chest print here on the jacket. Once again, the fusion's really helpful because I can slide the jacket underneath. I can line up for my left chest print. You can see if I press it down now, it's going to be locking down on these buttons with full pressure. So I'm going to grab myself a Teflon pillow or Print Perfect pad, depending on what I have here, to help build up that press area. I may not have the exact right tool, but we're going to try this pillow to see if it can fit. And it does. So I put that pillow in, and basically what it did is I'm going to raise this whole area up where I'm going to do my placement, and you can see the buttons are falling down over the edge. That way they're not getting the direct heat. And once again, I'm going to do a 2-color application. Make sure that's receiving the pressure from the pillow. Cover it up, especially because there's buttons there. When you add a pillow or pad, you need to adjust your pressure back, which I failed to do, so I did it on the fly there. I'm going to give that a few seconds. Now I'll line my foreground color of the carbon fiber right over top. Cover everything. Make sure no buttons are making direct contact with the heater, and press it for the full 10 to 15. So let's show you some close-ups of the garments we've created today. Now, I don't normally put the garments on after I'm done with them, but I wanted to show you the completed look and how good the hooded sweatshirt looks with the jacket as well as the design on back. So with materials, the cost of the garments and also the cost of materials, the carbon fiber and the 3M reflective to produce these, I have about $40 total. When you're utilizing special effect materials like this that are very popular and that students want, then you can sell this hooded sweatshirt for upwards of $30 and the jacket close to the $60+ range. So ultimately I'm going to turn $50 in profit on every single set I sell. If I line up a team of let's say 20 football players, then I'm going to land somewhere about $1,000 in profit. So this can be very profitable. So order some special effect materials in and experiment with them. Order in some jackets. This particular one's from Holloway Sportswear. Do some practicing. Put these in your sales folks' hands and show these in your shop. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Josh with Stahl's CAD-CUT Direct. You can purchase any materials you saw here today at CAD-CUTdirect.com.